Yo, good morning, traders, and welcome back to another episode of Market in the Morning. I'm your host with the most, Kevin Dubrisky at Trading with Kev. And guys, we've got a lot to cover today. Last night, the U.S. attacked Iran. Trump is claiming the peace talk and the peace deal is over. So let's dive into some headlines, see how markets reacted, and set ourselves up for a great trading day. So drop some good mornings, drop some W's, hit that like and subscribe if you're ready to make some money, because Market in the Morning starts right now. Yo, Yusuf, good morning. Ryan, good morning. Matt, what's going on? Mr. Random, hello. Dab, what's going on? Famous, hello, everybody. Good morning, good morning. I hope you're all doing well. Happy Wednesday. Good morning, Charles. What's going on? Let's go. Woohoo. Let's get the party started, ladies and gentlemen. Let's dive right into our Market AI terminal. If you don't have access to it yet, I 100% recommend you get it. Go to marketedge.ai. You could sign up with discount code KEV to save 10%. It's going to give you all the fundamentals, and some technicals that you need to know about what's moving markets right now. So let's go right into the headlines because, like we mentioned before, things are starting to heat up again. We had a few days there where we weren't really getting anything. July 4th came along. Obviously, we didn't get anything over the weekend. A few days went into the market. Monday, nothing. Tuesday, nothing. Now, here we are, Tuesday night into Wednesday. U.S. attacks Iran again. Iran peace deal is off the table. Why? Who, what, where, when, and why? Malvin, good morning. Andrea, good morning. Ted, what's going on? So let's dive right into our news feed over here. We'll start with high impact. Then we'll go over to our breaking news. Yeah, Ryan, what's going on? Great call on that. I do want to say, if you do join our Discord community, I'm going to pull it up right now. Give me 1 second to pull that up. There are unfortunately fake Discord profiles on Discord. Discord has a very poor security policy, and that's just going to lead to a lot of spam accounts. So if you do join our free community, it's going to be giving you a lot of bots. So come join it anyways. I'm going to send you guys the invite. And what's great with it, like we always say, drop some screenshots. I want you guys to drop some screenshots right now of what you're looking at and give me a little bit of a rundown of your analysis. We'll cover that a little bit later in the show. Jaquanti, good morning. John, good morning. Mr. Random saying today Trump's wins, Kevin. All right, we'll see, man. We'll see. So let's see. Iran news returns policy to square one. IBEX index drops 1.8% on Trump trade halt order. So again, things are starting to not just heat up in the war, but in other areas as well. Let's see. Trump says Iran ceasefire is over. This was at 4:20 this morning. What do you guys think Trump was doing at 4:20 this morning when he announced this? Think he was staying active? Forex and the dollar dips as U.S. and Iran trade talk strikes. Iran peace. Trump says Iran deal likely over. Again, also 4:18 this morning. Trump doesn't sleep, man. Stays posting, stays active. So we'll see what's going on. I'm not sure if I can. Bro, you guys can write whatever you want in the captions there. Now let's hit our breaking news one more time. I do want to see, we're just under high impact. Now we could go over to breaking news and see if there was anything that slipped through the high impact that is also still something breaking that could impact our markets. Around 1 week high. So dollar's steady around 1 week high after Trump says Iran MOU is over. Oil jumps. So that's a good thing to note, right? We want to take a look at oil to see where oil is and how oil's reacting. In my opinion, the way we've been seeing these markets ever since the ceasefire started, oil started to come lower, equities started pumping higher. Then there was the standstill when we had that big NFP candle that brought us lower. Well, now we want to know, is the U.S. striking Iran and claiming the ceasefire is over, is that going to add fuel to the fire of oil and bring price back higher again? Just like Imre mentioned a few sessions ago of Market in the Morning. So let's hit our market. Let's hit our chart real quick. Take a look at oil. Yeah, look at that, guys. Oil is up there. Oil went from $69 a barrel to highs of $75 a barrel. 9% move on oil in a matter of 1 day from those headlines. That tells me fear is re-entering the market, and us as traders need to be aware and using that terminal like market We're aware before everybody else is. So how cool is that, man? Morning, Marine. What's going on? Sean, good morning. What's up, brother? What's up? What's up? Good to have you guys in here. Make sure you guys keep running that like button up. We're going to shoot for 75 likes on today's stream. You guys were phenomenal yesterday. We hit 80. It's all a team effort, man. We're a community here. So oil, let's take some quick looks at oil. We see it on the daily time frame. It was very choppy on its way lower, almost like oil wasn't convinced itself that things were finally settled. Again, like I said, we went from lows around $67 a barrel to highs of 75, a 12% jump on oil right there. Now, what do we know about oil, guys, that we've been covering for the past few months now? Higher oil leads to higher inflation. Higher oil leads to higher costs, higher energy costs, and it leads to the NASDAQ, the S&P to become more bearish, even gold. So let's take a look at some of these charts. We'll check out the hourly real quick on oil for anybody that does want to trade it today. And we're finding our key levels just like we usually do. We find areas of support, areas of resistance, areas that price has reacted to in the past. So this level right here around $73 is a great key level. It was support, support, support. We broke it, then it became resistance. Resistance, we spiked through it. Now we're pulling back to it. I would want to see how the 72.50 holds on oil. This would be our higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Then we'd pull back and try to hold. So our line in the sand today for oil, we need to see it remain above 71.81. So we're going to even write that out. Stay above 71.81. Now we're prepared, right? We're preparing for the day. The best way to be a consistent trader is by being prepared every single day. Take a look at gold. Gold also took a bit of a rip to the downside. Ooh, beautiful reaction off of that hourly supply that I had marked out yesterday from Sunday's price action. It has ripped down from there about 1,300 pips. At this point, gold is pulling back. I'd probably be looking for a bit of a similar setup that we were seeing on oil, where we had an area that is support. Now check this out. When in doubt, drag it left. Let's see how we reacted at this price level. It was support, resistance, 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 support, support. Now I'd be looking for this 41.13 to 41.27 to act as resistance for us on gold today. Let's pull up our XAU USD chart as well for you guys. I thought I added it to my watch list. Apparently I did not. XAU USD. Perfect, perfect. Look at that. We're getting that same area. We're going to delete this one. We're going to delete our fib tool. Yesterday, guys, look how cool this is, man, about finding our levels. So we had that reaction. Now, we ended the stream yesterday around 10:30 right over here. 10 minutes later, it gives us the beautiful reaction off VWAP, off of this zone, moved higher, but it failed. And as soon as I noted that we failed to break our recent pivot, right, what does that tell us? That tells us price action that was making higher highs and higher lows is now starting to make some lower highs. Lower high, lower high. So I then, at that point, I was trading with my community myself. I said, guys, I'm losing faith in gold here. We're most likely going to take this low out. When we take this low out right here, we're most likely going to make our way to the next pivot down over here. That's exactly what we ended up doing, and then some off of those headlines. Guys, yeah, let me know. What trades did you guys take? Have you taken any trades on gold since the headlines come out? Have you used market to your advantage to say, great, we're selling off. I need to take some opportunities on gold shorts. Didn't gold sell yesterday? Yes, it did. Absolutely. Absolutely. Gold's giving us that reaction. So oil's back higher. Markets are getting a bit worried, right? There's that uncertainty coming back into the markets. When there's uncertainty, investors with millions, with billions, they start pulling their funds. They get nervous. They don't want their money sitting in something like this. So this is XAU USD. Let's mark out some levels real quick. You guys know how I go. We got to start with our previous day high, previous day low. Here's our previous day high. I'm going to delete this level. Is no longer valid, no longer valid. You guys remember I mentioned this area yesterday of our supply zone. We reacted very well off that. Now, because it's a daily supply zone, that's a great area to look for swing trades, right? Now, we're already about, let's see, use our measurement tool. We're already down about 12,000 pips from that area. Huge move, 130 points, really big move right there. We will keep this on our chart as that resistance area. Yo, Blaze, good morning, bro. How are you? Good morning, good morning. Waiting to fade those highs. Yeah, bro, exactly. We're following the trend. We're following the headlines that came out. Everything's still leaning a bit more bearish now, especially with those headlines. So important to be able to understand how to trade headlines. Next area of support I would look for on XAU USD would be down over here on the 4-hour time frame. Take a look at how many times gold has tried to push through and failed to sell off from this zone. And this is right with that key 4,000 level. So a good price target for today, if you are going short on gold, is going to be near 4,000 on XAU USD. We could check our 2-hour time frame, see if there's anything relevant. And what we can also do is put our volume profile up from this recent high and see our volume profile. Look at that. Look at this, guys. This area of resistance we have right here that was support is also a low volume shelf. Now, we know that these low volume areas tend to work as support and resistance, so price could trade back into the range of the high volume areas. So I'm still looking for possible shorts around 40.90 on XAU USD. That would also be a retrace to our previous day low. So we mentioned before, confirmations are important. This would be a nice little area for confirmation at this point. And let's see if I could add this to my watch list right here. Add to watch list. It is in watch list. Oh yeah, there it is. Maybe I was just tripping before. But let's take a look at the dollar, right? We always want to make sure we see where the dollar's at. If the dollar's climbing higher, that helps support a more bearish gold. So let's take a look. We're on the 2-hour right now. We can go to the 1-hour. Now this purple zone, this is a price level that Nalab mentioned and pointed out. This was on last Friday. Last Friday, we found this level from the Friday prior. So this has been here since June 18th. This price level has been here for about 19 days now. So what does that tell us? This is a very strong area to keep an eye on. And what are we seeing right now on the dollar? Well, we started to create some, we had higher highs, higher lows over here. Then we started to break lower. We finally made a lower low after a lower high. But now, what are we doing? We're starting to see that market structure shift a little bit here on the dollar, where we're taking out recent highs and we're holding recent lows. So that tells me that markets on the dollar are starting to shift more bullish. So if the dollar's shifting bullish, we know that we were looking for bears on gold. We're looking for sells on gold. This is a great confirmation to that. Dollar's pulling back right now. We know gold was pulling back right now too. So we're really just going to wait and see how markets want to react to our predetermined price levels, just like we do every single day. This also lines up with the fair value gap area. I'm going to update the volume profile to 6 p.m. yesterday because today is Wednesday. So we want to put it to 6 p.m. on Tuesday because that is our new daily session for futures. And there we go. Look at that. Same deal. We do have a very low volume shelf right here too, which we see we're already starting to reject. So this might be an okay area to start a short position if we get a proper reaction. We did already get the bearish candle showing sellers are trying to take initiative here. So just something to keep an eye on. Fair value area. Now, low volume shelves. I like to use low volume shelves. A lot of traders use fair value gaps. Fair value gaps are a great price action pattern, but you need to make sure that the fair value gap is actually with a low volume area. Those low volume areas tend to be strong areas that price likes to react to. And the reason for that is when we take a look at a volume profile like this, we see consistent heavy volume, but then we see a fall off in volume, right? And whenever we have a fall off in volume, it's not because nobody was interested at that price level. It's usually because price moved so fast through that price level that most of the volume that should be here is not. So those orders that should be in the market are now sitting there passively waiting to be filled. So when the market returns to that area, volume will start to pick up again because those passive orders start to get filled, and we usually get that reaction. So just something to keep in mind on, and sort of the idea behind not so much fair value gaps, but low volume shelves. Let's see, do we have anything else on gold here? We do have this pivot high right here, which I would consider a supply area here on the 30-minute time frame. Because what's great about this zone is we could pull all the way back up here, and as long as we don't breach this recent high, we're still going to be creating a lower high. So I'd be very patient, see where gold reacts, see how it trades, and know your risk tolerance when trading gold today. We're going to get a lot of volatility. Those headlines came out at 4 in the morning today. So we already know at this point we're probably going to get a lot more coming out today. I do think we just had a headline. Let's take a look at our market terminal over here. We have our market AI integration on our chart. Allies pledged 70 billion euros for Ukraine support in 2026. Okay, nothing that's going to support or break gold or the S&P and NASDAQ right now. So nothing that we really have to consider. Kevin, what row size do you have for the volume profile? So this is the anchored volume profile tool on TradingView. Show you right here on the left-hand side. It's under forecast, anchored volume profile. And the row size I have it as 100. So I believe the higher you go, the more rows it shows you. So it really just refines what you're seeing. But the lower you go, the less rows it gives you, which makes it a little harder to read. You want it to be a bit smoother when you're looking at a volume profile like that. So 100, 150, something that you're going to mess around with yourself, sort of whatever it is that you find to be the most helpful. Let's take a look at NASDAQ, S&P 500. Guys, let me know what you want to trade. ES, beautiful sell-off from that supply yesterday. Broke this demand area overnight. I'm no longer interested in this. Price is clearly not respecting it. Therefore, I don't want to respect it. I don't want to acknowledge it. What I do want to know is where our previous day high and low are on the S&P, because guess what? We're way below that previous day low. We broke that lower. Sadiq, bro, my guest today, hold up, let me go get him. All right, I'm here. And guys, we're running another solo dolo show today. Imre is unfortunately out. He's got a little bit of a sore throat. He's going to be filming some great content also in the studio today for market. So no, Imre is out. Hopefully we get Seb in here. I shot Seb a message, but for now, you guys are rocking with the coolest, and that's fine. All right, 4-hour time frame here on the S&P. This area was a beautiful rejection point, gave multiple short opportunities. Thank you, Sean. Thank you. Absolutely, bro. 100%. Guys, any questions throughout the show, please make sure to drop a like. Drop a like, drop the comment, drop something in the comments if you have a question on an index, if you have a question on a ticker, if you want to see something in market, whatever you guys want to see, drop that. Yeah, Bitcoin, we could definitely cover Bitcoin. Get both Sebs. Yo, I got to get Seb Square in here. So when I say Seb, they both answer. That'd be pretty funny. You guys ever do that? Thank you, bro. Thank you, Mr. Random. Thank you, guys. Absolutely, man. Here for you. Hey, how are you? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What session do you trade, bro? I trade this New York session with you guys. You know, if it's my session window that I trade is between 9:30 and 11 to 11:30 for the New York session. But I do like to, if I wasn't on market in the morning with you guys, I would still be starting at least by 9 o'clock to give myself that 30-minute window before I trade to create my zones, create my plan, so that when markets open, I'm not jumping into every little move I see. Now, here on the ES, I'm glad we came down to the S&P on the hourly. We have a great supply area, which falls back within that previous day's low. So sort of a similar setup like we were seeing on gold, where we want to see a retest into that previous day's range, find some resistance, and trade back lower off of the fundamentals that are now leaning more bearish. And we can take a look at our market terminal here and take a look at the S&P. Yeah, I place trades live here. So I have 4 monitors myself. The main one that I stream to you guys, the monitor that actually shows me you guys in your great comments, another chart for Bookmap is like an order flow tool, and then another screen for my execution. So keep it all here. It's my, you ever see like a space station? This is my space station right here with you guys. So S&P futures tumble as Trump says Iran peace deal is over and oil spikes. This is something I've been saying for months now, man. Higher oil, lower NASDAQ, lower S&P 500. Let's take a look at the trading bias on ES is slightly bearish. Escalating US-Iran conflict and Hormuz attacks trigger global risk off. So when we have risk off, we know that people are taking risk off the table. They are not putting money into the market. They are taking money out of the market because they don't want to sustain themselves to more risk. Oil price spikes from Iran sanctions raise cost pressure and margins risk. Guys, this is exactly what we were talking about yesterday. I said when oil's higher, equities, big tech companies, they have to pay more. Their margins get crushed. Something that they paid 5 cents on the dollar for now becomes 20 cents on the dollar, 25 cents on the dollar. Their investors, which is the big banks and big investors, start taking their money out. They start rotating their money into something a bit safer. Which monitor is your favorite? Bro, they're all my favorite. They all have meaning. But I guess my favorite monitor is the one you guys are on. Let's see, breaking news. Nothing really over here lately. I love the update that we have where you could just very quickly see, okay, oil jumps, stocks fall as Trump stays interim in Iran deal over. I could hit oil and boom, it pulls up super quick. Yeah, guys, let me know what screens do you guys use when you trade? Are you trading with one monitor? Are you trading with two monitors? How are you guys watching the stream? Do you trade on your laptop and watch the stream on your phone? What do you do? How do you guys set up your space station of trading? I like to trade on my phone. Will Market have a phone app soon? Yeah, so Market's working on a phone app very, very soon. I'm very excited about that. What you can do now if you want, when you go on your phone and you're on the Market AI website, there's a button. I don't know if you're on iPhone or if you're on Android, but if you're on iPhone, there's a add to home screen button that you could actually make it that much easier, that you add Market to your home screen, you click that app, and it pulls it up right for you. So you don't have to go into Safari and everything. Yeah, guys, bump up those likes, man. You guys already know we're trying to hit that 50, trying to hit that 70. Yesterday we hit 80. Let's go, baby. Let's break records. Team effort. So S&P oil. So let's see what's keeping oil higher. Other than the strikes on Iran, what could keep oil higher, which again is going to put pressure on our equities. Nice. There you go. There you go. Set it up for sure. U.S. strikes in Iran and ship attacks threaten Hormuz flows. Now, we already saw yesterday. Ready? Let's look at our news feed for a moment. I'm going to search. And this is something that we saw yesterday about the whole two ships, right? Two ships were bombed in the strait. And that was probably like 36 hours ago by now. But let's see if we could find that. Let's see how accurate my read was. Iran fired at least 2 missiles at commercial ships transiting through the Strait of Hormuz. This is 1 day ago, 8:42 in the evening. So yeah, I was about right. I was about right. July 6th. Today is July 8th. Not 48 hours, 36 hours ago. It was pretty accurate. Come on now. Yo, 100 likes. Run that, baby. Run that. Do we have a red file on oil? Good question. So it is Wednesday, and as we know from recent episodes, and as Imre has mentioned as well, Wednesday we do have a economic event for oil, as it is the weekly crude exports. Now, we see extra volatility into it. We don't get the biggest of moves, but it is something to keep an eye on and know that there's extra volatility to oil today. So now, not only do we have the weekly crude exports, but we have all these headlines bringing more volatility too. So we want to keep a very close eye on everything. What else do we have this week? We have tomorrow, Thursday, initial jobless claims. Now, guys, tomorrow we should have Jivan. Thursday is his go-to day. I know he was supposed to be on yesterday with us, but he had some issues that he had to take care of. I think he had something with his eye, but he's good now, and we're ready to make it happen. So initial jobless claims tomorrow at 8:30, existing home sales tomorrow at 10. Both events are not going to give us the biggest of impacts. They're going to be pretty mediocre in a sense of volatility, unless we get some type of ridiculous over or under on our minimum and maximum. So initial jobless claims right now forecast is 218,000. Prior was 215,000. Minimum is 210. Maximum is 225. So 218, that's right in the middle. 210 is to the downside. 225 is to the upside. If it comes out super high, let's say it comes out at 230, then we could take a look at our playbook over here, and it's going to tell us on ES, if it comes out way higher, that is very bullish on the S&P 500. But if it comes out way lower, let's say it comes out at 208 or 200, that's going to be very bearish. Now, this can be, if it's breaking one of these extremes, something that can cause a little bit more of a trend. What else do we have? We have Tuesday, next Tuesday, July 14th, we have CPI, finally a big economic event. Oil rig count, gas rig count on Friday. Nothing major there again for our economic calendar. I do want to see all the way till the 17th. That will be next Friday. So we could see what events we have. We're preparing ahead of time, ladies and gentlemen. So we know CPI next Tuesday. Wednesday, a whole lot of nothing. Is that PPI? PPI machine manufacturing, not our normal PPI. Thursday, initial jobless claims, retail sales, again, nothing major. And Friday, we have housing starts numbers, import prices. We do have Michigan consumer sentiment preliminary, which does give us a little bit of an impact. So next week, we definitely have more news than this week, which this week was a whole lot of nothing. So let's go back to our dashboard. Let's actually go back to some price levels and see how markets are reacting right now. I'll delete this, delete that. So this is going to be our 1 hour supply area that we're looking for on S&P for shorts. Now look at this. We even have our support area that formed down here. So now what do? When we find these support and resistance areas, what we're doing is we're defining the range for ourselves on whatever asset we're trading. So right now, I see the range on ES is between 75.40 and 74.80. So as long as we stay within that range, we know the drill. We sell high and we buy low. That would be what we're looking for. But now that we have fundamentals on more of a bearish route, we're much more interested in selling high than buying low, right? We always want to follow that overall trend in the market. Let's see. NASDAQ, we'll mark out some NQ as well. NASDAQ had this demand area that we just plummeted through multiple times. Again, if markets aren't respecting it, I'm not respecting it. Off the charts with you. Daily time frame. Now, NASDAQ, you guys remember we were looking at the ES and saying how it was trying to make some lower highs, lower lows, ever since we had our big NFP day over here. When we had that big NFP day, I told you guys, this could be our catalyst. If this is the catalyst that starts moving the Fed to a more hawkish tone, that could be a bearish catalyst for the market to see some selling pressure. Since then, we've been up and down. Markets haven't fully confirmed or fully submitted, I should say, to the idea of a more bear market, but it's also failing to make new all-time highs. This was our all-time high over here on June 2nd. Since then, June 15th, we failed it. July 6th, we definitely failed it. We're creating lower highs at this point, but we're not creating lower lows yet on S&P. NASDAQ, on the other hand, a lot more bearish. It is trying to create some lower lows after lower highs. Same thing, daily supply rejected about just a small 1,500 points, 6,000 ticks, just a small little move there. So does market have like a glossary? Just say I don't know what hawkish means. Yeah, you know what? That's a great idea. I'm going to mention that to the guys on the back end and see if there's something that we can add to help you guys understand a bit more of the terms. Now, when we mention hawkish and dovish on the Fed, what we're basically saying is, so hawkish rate hikes. So that means they're increasing the rates, and that is bearish on the stock market. Dovish means that they're cutting rates, so rate cuts. Think of it this way: they're we're diving the cuts. We're dovish. We're diving the cuts. We're cutting rates. Great. Hawkish hawks fly high. They're hiking rates. Hiking rates on the hawkish. H&H. Hawkish and hikes. Dovish and cuts. I don't know. But dovish, again, were rate cuts. Hawkish rate hikes. So that's exactly what we're talking about. You could use a tool like Market to see interest rate tracker and see where we're at. So right now, look at this. Ooh, that's big, man. That's big. Wow, look at this increase. So look at this, guys. We had a, what is this? We had a, it's not showing me. I want to say this is probably like a 70%. There it is. 70% chance of a no change by September. Now we're looking at just a 56% chance of no change. Things are starting to drop. We could also look at our FedWatch tool. FedWatch is just a basic website anybody has access to. It's basically the CME Group's FedWatch tool for the next FOMC meeting and tells you the odds of a rate hike or rate cut by that specific meeting. So to use this tool, what you're going to do, I'll zoom in a bit for you guys. What you're going to do is you're going to come to, so see where it says target rate? Right now it's on current. You want to put it on compare. When you put it on compare, it's going to show you 4 bars per each slot. And what that does is it tells you 1 month ago, what were the odds? 82% chance we hold rates. Then it was 71, 73. Now we're down to a 69% chance that we hold rates steady. And why do I know that this is holding rates steady? Because right now we're in between 350 and 375 on our rates in BPS. If we had a rate hike, that would bring us to 375 to 400. So right over here, 30% is now a huge increase from a month ago, which was only 14%. I never knew that. No, hey, there you go. That's funny, man. Last episode, I was telling you guys, there's no such thing as a bad question. The question you have, somebody else probably has too. And that's a great example right there. You guys said I had the same question, but I didn't think to ask. Example, RBNZ was hawkish today, and they will hike rates in the future. Okay, good call, good call. Right, it's important to know what's the global economy doing. Is most of the globe in an area where they're all looking to hike rates? Are we not seeing just a US recession, but a global recession? And unfortunately, it's a bit of the direction we're headed in unless something is able to stop all of the chaos. So right now we're looking at July, compare, and it's telling us we still do have about a 70%, 69% chance we hold rates. So we probably are going to hold rates. We know Mr. Kevin Warsh, the other Kevin, wasn't too keen on giving us forward guidance, and he's going to get this whole team in line, whatever ridiculousness he has on his plate. But what we can also do, I'm a big fan of checking December. So December is the last FOMC meeting. When we check December, that's going to give us basically where we should be at or where we will be at as well. So we see our 375 to 400 where we are right now. We only have a 38% chance of being at the same spot. We do have a 15% chance of a rate cut, but let's be honest, is that really going to happen? Right now, the odds have been slimmer and slimmer. Here is our rate hike. This is for one rate hike, 32% chance by December. But then we also have 2 rate hikes, have an 11% chance. So when you combine those probabilities, the 32 and the 11, we're looking at a 44% chance that we get at least 1 rate hike and even a possibility of 2 rate hikes. I mean, there's even almost a 2% chance of 3 rate hikes, which at this point, most likely not going to happen. I wonder what that could be or what per. Yeah, right. Let's see. Oh, hawkish equals rate high, dovish equals rate down. That's how there you go. 2 cents on JPY. It's on ICU mode. We'll take a look at it for sure. Oh, Bitcoin. You know what? Let's hit Bitcoin real quick. I know Marine over here, Marianne. I apologize. If you want to drop your name so I know what to call you guys. But let's take a look at Bitcoin and see where Bitcoin's headed. Bitcoin has been taking some big hits. It's at 62,000 right now. In my opinion, I'd love to see Bitcoin below 60K again. We could take a look at the chart on Bitcoin. Bitcoin USD, Coinbase. And what do we have, man? We have crazy Mariri. Is that it? Like Riri, like Rihanna? Mariri? Well, good morning, Mariri. Good morning, good morning. This next low we have is 49,000 on Bitcoin. Imagine the pain we feel. Imagine not the pain we feel, but a company like MSTR. And we'll look up MSTR real quick. MSTR Bitcoin Holdings. So there was news speculating that MSTR sold some of their Bitcoin. Apparently that was false. They did not. But look at their 1 year return on their Bitcoin holdings, negative 75%. That is not a happy return, and those investors are not happy with MicroStrategy right now. Let's see. Enterprise value, 55,000. Market cap in millions, 36. Wow. MSTR price. No way. MSTR is trading at $97 right now. That's insane. People are dropping that short button on MSTR. They have 843,000 Bitcoin. That is huge. Their Bitcoin price average is 62,000. So again, when we talk about where's their pain, here's where there's pain. Bitcoin dips below 62. What, they just buy? Did you guys see that? It just changed. MSTR, 62,000. Bitcoin below 62,000. They're going to feel pain. He's going to be worried. The total value of MSTR traded before market open updates every 15 seconds during pre-market hours. That's pretty cool. But look at this. It looks like they might be buying down right now. We see that this price is changing in real time, 61,900. So again, same situation. We know Bitcoin below 60,000, MSTR is in a crazy red position. We're not talking a few million. We're talking billions and billions in the red. A negative 75% return. That is awful. I'm surprised. Let's see, Bitcoin reserve 52,000. Well, let's see. Amplify. No, nothing else major here. Bitcoin years of dividend coverage, 29.7K. Nothing else crazy going on. Oh, you know what? No, this is the actual Bitcoin price. Enterprise value, 55,000. So here's where our pain is. Yeah, we could cover gold after 100%. We covered gold a little earlier. Would love to cover it again. It's already 9 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. What a fast episode so far. So we'll cover gold in a moment. This is MicroStrategy's pain level right here, 55,800. When we look at Bitcoin, it hit lows around 57,900. So, and guess what? It looks like we're just heading even lower from here. I want to see less than 50K. That would be a phenomenal buying opportunity also on Bitcoin if you believe it's not going to zero. If you believe Bitcoin's not going to zero, just like it never went to zero in the past on previous crashes that it had. This crash right here went from 70,000 all the way down to 15,000. That's a huge crash. But guess what? The return on investment's a new all-time highs again, 300%. Now, guess what? Bitcoin's giving us another crash like that. If it falls to 50,000 and you buy at 50 and it slowly makes its way back to those all-time highs again, look at that percent return right there. 162% return. Guys, I'm getting a call. We're getting Trump headlines coming in. Let's check our market integration and see what's going on. And yeah, the MSTR run was great. It absolutely was. It was a historic run when it was in the green. Now comes the question, how does he handle the pain? Trump says focus shifted to nuclear weapons from regime change. That's not really much of a shift. It's just a bit more of a headline that has sort of been their focus, right? The focus and the goal of their deal was that Iran would quit their nuclear development. They would not try to get a nuclear weapon. Trump signals potential for further strikes on Iran tonight, 1 minute ago. Yo, check oil. Everybody check oil. Oh, yo, check that out, guys. Oil held that zone we were looking at around 73. It hit 73, and then the headline came out. We talk about timing the market. Well, guess what? Trump is timing his headlines. He's watching the stream. We see you, Trump. I see you. Let's delete some of these drawings we have out here, some of these brushes. Beautiful. Awesome. So let's also check on, since we're checking on oil and we want to see how markets are reacting to this, we could check on gold. Can you increase the video? Is it not at, I thought it already was at that display. It's at 1080p right now. 1080p. Yeah, we'll full margin buy oil. There we go. Gold did not give us that big of a move. It reacted to the high of this area. This is not the main area we were looking for. We were looking for, I'd like a pullback to 40,900 on XAU USD. But if we do pull back to 4120, that would be another great area as well. Bro, he's definitely in here. Definitely. Can I zoom this in? I can't zoom it in. I do apologize. What we can do, though, is pull up our market terminal, and that I can zoom in for you guys, so it's a bit more clear for you guys to see. So let's take a look. And I don't even have to go into my settings to find oil. I could just go to my breaking news, and I know that this headline affects oil. Boom, there it is. Trade set up on oil, price target $76 a barrel. Guys, we're getting back into that panic mode. We are 100% seeing more fluctuation and more uncertainty entering these markets. The war is not over yet. Noab has been saying, I've been saying, Jeev has been saying, no war starts and ends in 3 months. Not a war to these extremes. I'm still trying to tap into previous day low on gold. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Perfect. That's what I was looking for too. We wanted to see our previous day low on gold is right over here at this level. That's that 40.90 level I mentioned. So a nice rejection off this point. Then we'll go to a lower time frame. And on that lower time frame, we'll see how the price action is. Do we move higher? So at the moment, lower time frame, we're moving higher. Higher time frame, we're still moving lower. So if we can move into this zone, reject, sweep a previous low, then we're going to look for a pullback, hold that high, and that's going to be our trade entry on gold shorts. So we'll take a look. Let's see. It's probably not the right time of day to look. Trump locked in on market for sure, bro. 100%. 100. It's probably not the right time to look, but ever look at Nikkei. Could you mind dropping the ticker in that? I'm sure it'll come up if I just look it up. There we go. Yeah, Japan yield. We could take a look on that in a little bit. I did want to cover, I thought somebody else had another request. MSTR was a great run. Do gold. No, so we just covered gold. Let's see XAU, let's see GC. We just covered XAU USD. Let's cover GC real quick. Make sure we update our levels, update our zones. What do we have? Our open price is right over here. Previous day low is right here. Look at that. That's a nice confluence in my opinion. Where we have our open price today and our previous day low right here. I want to see gold move back above or back towards that previous day low and that open price. We get a short position. And then guess what? We could be in for a really nice rip to the downside on gold if these headlines really start to hold. So let's see. Hourly. The price target we would have on gold is 40.25. And our short entry would be around this 41.10. So again, looking for those shorts, looking for a react. Excuse me. Let's take a look at silver. I know there's some silver traders in here. We could also take a look. I do want to look at the dollar first. What time frame do you trade? So I trade on the 5 and the 15-minute time frame for entries. But when I do my analysis, I'm usually looking at a 15-minute, 30-minute, and higher. So it's called like a top-down analysis. Top-down analysis is when you start on a higher time frame, say a daily time frame. You look for previous day high, previous day low, get an idea of the overall trend. Because guess what? If you're just jumping on the chart and you're looking at a 15-minute time frame, you're going to be able to debate either direction. You're going to be able to say, oh, well, you know, we're not up here yet, so obviously we're bearish, we're selling off. But when you look at a daily time frame, no, gold, the dollar just had an extremely strong move from July 16th to, what is that? No, June 16th until June 25th. 2% move, one of the strongest weeks on the dollar. We saw that it was one of the strongest weeks on the dollar because market told us it was. Trump explores Patriot interceptors for Ukraine war. Trump on war in Ukraine, going to talk about Patriot. All right, we'll see. I think these are all just headlines to be headlines. I don't think this is anything major that we're going to see follow through with. Let's see. Oil, planned US-Iran talks later this month keep de-escalation path open, but this would be more of a what could flip the bias. What strats do I use? Great question. You guys are asking all the right questions now. So I'm a supply and demand trader. So I always tell you guys, and I always teach people, trading is not just about strategy. You can't just be like, I'm trading moving averages. I buy at the 9 and I get out when the 9 and the 20 cross again. That could be a bit of a baseline of your strategy, but there's a lot more to it. When it comes to trading, it's like building a house, right? We need risk management. When we're building a house, we don't just put up blueprints and say we're done. We don't just put up 4 walls and say we're done. We need the walls, we need foundation, we need the support beams, we need windows, we need doors, we need AC if it's hot. But you guys get the point. We need a lot to put in to build a house, like building a puzzle. You don't buy a puzzle and it's done for you. You buy a puzzle and it's in pieces. Trading is that puzzle in pieces. We piece those pieces together. We take risk management, we take our core strategy, how we read higher time frames, then daily time frame. How are we looking? Bullish on the dollar. I want to be bearish on gold, even though it had a bullish pullback. That's fine. 4-hour time frame. Where are we at here on the 4-hour? Look at this, a beautiful, beautiful resistance point, multiple resistant levels. And then guess what? That was now our support on the dollar. That could have been a great area to say, okay, this is probably where gold is going to reverse. Let's see. This was at 7 a.m. on Thursday. 7 a.m. on Thursday. And 11, is that really 7 and 11? Oh yeah, we're on a 4-hour. 7 and 11 on Thursday. Look at gold. 7 and 11 on Thursday, right over here. Here's no, there's Saturday. Here's Thursday. Yeah, that's where gold had a double top up here when the dollar had a double bottom at that key level. I do the same lineup when I look at the S&P and the VIX. VIX should be correlated to the opposite side, so divergent from the ES and NQ. So yesterday was a great example. We had ES opening within a supply zone. So look, ES opened right here, right below a supply. We wicked into it and we rejected lower about 50 points. But what was the VIX doing? VIX also opened. Where are we? Let's see. There we are. This was yesterday's open, Tuesday, 9 o'clock over here. We opened in this purple area. And what did I tell you guys about this purple area in market in the morning yesterday? This purple area, every time the VIX is in it, we reverse higher on the VIX. If we're reversing higher on the VIX, we're reversing lower on the S&P and NASDAQ. Let's see. We got a bunch of questions in here. Yeah, Sands, I do use Bookmap. Bookmap is a fantastic order flow tool. I mentioned earlier my trade setups, my monitor setup situation. I have the screen where I'm streaming to you guys, going over some market analysis, giving you guys some insights. And then I have the monitor for you guys where I see all of your lovely comments and questions. And I see you guys running that like button up. Don't forget to smash that like. I have the monitor for execution on the right-hand side, and I have my order flow on the right-hand side above that one. So a 4-monitor layout to keep me intact and to keep you guys steady. Gold is definitely trying to reject this area right now. So I'd keep an eye for possible gold shorts. We mentioned if we can start to break structure to the downside. So at the moment, what are we doing? We were making these higher highs on the 1 minute, higher lows. So now we're starting to fail. I would want to see, can we break lower here, then pull back and move lower? Can you spoof gold for us? Now you don't spoof with Bookmap, but you can see spoof orders with Bookmap because Bookmap shows you those passive orders and how long they've been there. But we'll talk about that in another session. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, I will cover some Bookmap stuff and other things like that on Instagram at Trading with Kev. You guys see that right over here. So let's take a look. Any other questions, guys? Drop some questions. Malvin, hey, Kev, I'm looking for shorts on XAU USD 4092 towards 4031 and 4000. Great. I like that. Yep, 4092, bro. That's our previous day low. That's our VWAP level. That is a phenomenal area to look for possible shorts on gold. I'm going to be doing the same thing over here. Getting a lot of headlines coming out here, guys. Let's see. Where's our market tool? Trump says Iran talks may continue as he awaits outcome. Trump expresses uncertainty on Iran, suggests the U.S. may proceed alone. What do you mean may proceed alone? We're going to proceed with peace talks with ourselves? You think he's going to talk to a mirror and say, hey, you're doing a good job. Why don't we keep it peaceful? And then he's going to be like, wow, that's a great idea. We should do that. And then he'll create a post and he'll be like, peace talks are done. I'm like, come on now. Trump. That's great. That's great. Good morning. Are the zones that you marked out order block zones or supply and demand on gold? So order block and supply and demand tend to have the same idea behind them, in that they're areas where price, here's an example on NASDAQ, this one right here, where price had a basing candle. So that would be for a supply zone or a bearish order block. That would be a green candle before a bearish move with a longer upper wick, a bit of a smaller body, to show that this is the area where buyers tried and buyers failed. Sellers took control. So in this area, in this zone that we marked out, those buyers that are in the market, those aren't retail trader buyers. These are institution buyers that unfortunately might have been on the wrong side, while the rest of the big money is on the right side. They do not want to close out their position for a loss down here. They're waiting for price to return back to their level so they could get out for break even. So what happens, and the idea behind that is, okay, they were buyers over here, and now they turn into sellers because they want to get out of their buy position. So those buyers turning into sellers is what gives us that reaction afterwards. Now, not only do they want to get out of their buy position with a sell order, but they might want to jump in a sell position themselves. So they're not only selling to exit their position, but now they're selling again to enter a new position, adding even more volume from this zone. So that's where the ideology of supply and demand and even those order block levels and zones come from. So that's my foundation. Supply and demand on a higher time frame. Lowest I'll go with those is 15-minute, usually looking for recent daily zones like that. But yeah, 15-minute, 30-minute, hourly, 2-hour, 4-hour, and daily. Might seem like a lot, but when you're marking it out, you don't need to find a zone on every time frame. You're just using different time frames to get a different perspective of the market. Getting that different perspective will really help give you stronger insights versus staying on a 15-minute and just looking at the past day. If you're just looking at the past day, you're missing a lot of information and keeping yourself at a bit of a disadvantage. So let's see, NASDAQ trying to hold up here. I'd want to see if NQ, which is the NASDAQ, has some area of resistance up here. Let's see, hourly, nothing crazy. I will note that we have these pivots, right? So we have that lower high, where else? Lower high, all these low-hanging fruit areas. So if we get some type of headline that suggests, hey, buyers are stepping in with strength and we're able to get above 29,500, I would look to see if we could pull back a bit more. I do want to update our open price today, though. Open price is down here on NASDAQ. Previous day high is here. Previous day low we don't have marked out, so let's mark that out as well. Previous day low. Text PDL for previous day low. And we've already broken previous day low. So the odds are already in our favor on those shorts. Guys, good morning. Guys, throw those likes in the air, man. We got to hit 50 likes by New York session open. I'm going to be checking right now. If we're not there, I'm ending the stream. 40 likes, guys. Come on now, run it. Let's see, 30-minute time frame. So I'm not really seeing any resistance, any new resistance, I should say, that formed on the NASDAQ right now. So that does give me a little bit, not of a concern, but just tells me to be a little bit more patient on finding that short. We do have here on the 2-hour a resistance point right there. So we can mark that out as our supply. Now, I am also a fan of using the horizontal ray on TradingView and marking it out as, okay, this is a supply zone, but then also writing, hey, this is a 2-hour supply zone, right? That's the time frame we found this on. Let's see. Let's see. So 2 hours. So this would be a good area. And same situation. This sort of lines up like ES did, where ES had resistance right above our previous day low. NASDAQ also showing resistance right above our previous day low and right near our open price. Something I've noted on the NASDAQ lately is it's really been respecting and testing that open price a lot during the New York session. So be careful that NASDAQ doesn't have a bit of a pullback off the open. But also look at SpaceX. SpaceX is dumping, man. 140 is at 149.50 yesterday by close. It's at 151 at the moment. But just be patient. I think SpaceX is headed to $100 a share. That would be a great buying opportunity because it will eventually make its way back to 200. Not going anywhere. One of the biggest space companies out there. It's not just a rocket company. It's an AI company. It is a data center company. It's going to be huge. So the lower we can go, the better for a long-term investment standpoint. What else? I heard. Oh, right. We were just getting some more headlines there. Let's check that out. Let's see. Breaking news. Trump. Man, I told you guys earlier when we started the stream, we had the headline this morning about the U.S. attacking Iran. Today's going to be a headline-filled day. Here we are getting more of them. More and more. Oh, my goodness. Trump sees Putin's Ukraine war peace terms shifting. Sure. Hey, appreciate that. Absolutely, guys. Run that like button up. NATO allies agree to secure fuel storage for alliance. Trump speaking to Putin today. Bro, he's probably in a text chain with Putin. Hey, buddy, you guys remember that was a big thing too, like a year or two ago, that they were buddies. I don't know if you guys remember that. Crude oil, what could flip it? Middle East central banks. Let's see. S&P. I want to see, where's our ES? Let's get our ES up here. And guys, any tickers, you guys want to see anything, drop it in the comments. We'll cover it. We'll do some analysis and we'll see what's up. Here we go. Trump seeks to arrange Ukraine war meeting. So we can hit the brain icon here and we could see the analysis of that if it has any type of actual hold to markets right now. And quite honestly, they don't. Putin calling me a genius, but oh, did he? I bet. Trump will say put in. What's he putting in? Let's see. Ukraine, Trump on war in Ukraine, going to work on security guarantee. I mean, I think these are distraction headlines, right? We've seen this before. He attacks Iran, big bombs, big explosions, and then he'll have some headlines and he'll say something about something entirely different to try to distract us from what's really going on. What's really going on is the war is escalating again and shit is about to go down. So let's see oil, man, right off that zone. We said stay above 71.81. We're bullish on oil. If you are in an oil long position, our market terminal gave 76 as a price target to the upside. Take a look at oil here. Yo, Trump is still going, man. Trump on war in Ukraine, Patriot missiles. We need them for ourselves too. No, what? Oil continuing higher. What were we looking at? Oh, right. Price target on oil, $76. Target $76 here on oil. That does look like a steady target. I do believe we're going to hit it. Hourly time frame looks great for continuation. If I was looking for a position on oil here, it would be a long position, and I'd be looking. Oh, hold up. We'd be looking to say, okay, once we can break back above and hold above this area, our stops are going to be near the low, and we're going to look to see if we can target that 76. That right now is about a 2-to-1 risk to reward. I'm more of a fan of those 3-to-1s and higher, so we will keep an eye on that. And what we can do is we go to a lower time frame and find that better stop loss criteria, right? Tighten it up a little bit. Breakout, retest, continuation. That's what I'm looking for here on oil today. Where we go higher, hold, pull back, and continue. You can look for price target 1 at that recent pivot high. We see oil has been making higher highs since that headline came out. Guys, we have 10 minutes before the New York session opens, so make sure you run that like button up. We got to hit 50 by New York session open. We're just a few away. XAU USD did not pull back to that level yet. We were waiting for 40.90 on XAU USD. 5-minute time frame. So look at the chop we're seeing here, right? We had a spike up, sideways, small spike, sideways, small spike, sideways. This is a no trade zone. We go over this all the time. No trade zone. We're not near our preset level of 40.90. So I'm not looking to take a trade down over here with the stop loss randomly over here just to get stopped out, lose money in my account, and then take the trade and have it win, right? Because guess what? We could come into this zone, possibly wick around too. And if I take a stop loss over here and then price starts to move in my favor, we want to be able to take that re-entry. We do not want to be sitting on our hands while that trade setup that we originally had plays out. We want to be patient and be able to take, like Nil says, take a trade, take an entry or two, right? Because we have proper risks or reward, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, we're able to take a few paper cuts before taking that big winning trade. Obviously, the goal would be to not take the paper cuts, but sometimes it happens and we got to be prepared for it. Kevin, do you trade options as well? I used to trade options on big tech. It's funny, somebody asked me about that yesterday. And it's funny. Everything in trading has its pros and cons. Forex has its pros and cons. Futures has its pros and cons. Options has its pros and cons. So the pros of trading options on big tech companies like Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, Google, AMD, Tesla, you name it, is that it gives you a variety. It gives you a strong bundle to look through. So if Apple and Microsoft have been range bound and not giving us consistent price action, you can leave those alone. You can look for something that has a bit cleaner price action. Go look at Meta. You can look at Nvidia. Look at this clean move on Nvidia yesterday. 3% move on Nvidia, a $6 move. An options trade on this would have been phenomenal. Yo, morning Platts. What's up, brother? How are you? Good to see you in here. Shorter time frame entries equals tighter stops, cheaper entries. You got to be a little careful. You know, it's funny too. I was helping somebody yesterday with a one-on-one, and we were going over tight stop losses. And the issue with tight stop losses is a lot of times you're going to enter and almost immediately get stopped out. And if that's something that you're seeing in your trading, that you enter and get stopped out right away, I want you to take a little break from your trading and say, okay, instead of trading this week or even for the next couple days, I'm going to be a spectator. I'm going to watch charts just like I usually do, but instead of executing every time I want to take a trade, maybe use the arrow tool, right? They have an up arrow and a down arrow. Let's say I wanted to go short on Nvidia over here. Well, then I could use the short arrow and say, okay, let's say I took a short here, and you could even use the position tool. I took a short here with my stop loss there, and I wanted to see us come back to VWAP over here. How would that play out? Boom, that would have stopped me out. You just saved yourself capital, and you're learning in the process to say, okay, well, maybe that was too soon. Maybe that was too early. I had the right analysis because we did end up moving lower, but it stopped me out. What can I do better next time? Why was my stop loss so tight? Then you'll be able to see, oh, okay, well, the next pivot we had was really more up here. So if I was taking a short on Nvidia, I'd want to try to find that short, keep my stop loss a little bit higher, especially if I'm looking for a move like that. That is still a 3-1 risk or reward. So it all depends on what you're comfortable with in trading. XAU USD trying to move lower. What we can do too, again, we're spectators right now. We're watching this pivot, 40.65. We break below 40.65. We're looking for a retest and continuation for some gold shorts. Yeah, futures is a bit of my comfort zone. It's a lot easier to manage your stop loss, manage your risk with futures. Oh boy, some more Trump on Iran headlines. Trump on Iran, not sure deal will stick. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Somebody get this guy a ship hat. Trump expresses doubt over longevity of Iran nuclear deal. Come on now. Didn't we just, wasn't the deal that we were going to give them like $300 billion? Was that not enough? Well, we should change the B for a T. We'll make them the next trillionaires. Just a whole lot of headlines today. I would definitely be a little careful trading today, knowing that we're very headline heavy. What I mean by headline heavy is that Trump is at his phone today. Here we go, NASDAQ. Here's that heavy volume to the upside, heavy volume to the downside, major imbalance right here around this 29,250. This 29,250 off of VWAP 2. This is an area that I would like to keep an eye on the NASDAQ today. So we're going to use our rectangle tool. We're going to mark it out. This is our imbalanced zone. Now, this is an imbalance because, and you guys should know by now, this is an imbalance because we had consistent volume, imbalanced volume, because volume should always be consistent. This is range-bound volume. If we're trading in an area like this, we see the price action. We're range-bound. We would want to sell high, buy low. Now we had this big imbalance right here. Markets want to rebalance the books, right? I'm sure you guys have heard that saying before. When markets rebalance the books, that's when volume starts to re-enter the market again, and this volume picks back up and is better. At this point, I would like to see that rejection. We're already seeing a bit of a reaction off of this zone in the pre-market. So we'll see when New York session opens, the volume that comes in. We come into it, look for that reaction. So yeah, it was the same thing that I mentioned earlier, how the imbalance, markets don't like imbalances. Markets want to see consistent volume. So this low volume over here is not because nobody was interested at this price. It's because price moved so quickly. Look at this big drop we had right here from 29,400 all the way down to 28,900, a 500-point drop on the NASDAQ. We then consolidated in this area. When we consolidate, volume picks up. When we move very fast, we leave low volume trails. So we'll now see, how do we react to that low volume trail, because there's volume sitting in here. As much as it shows there's low volume, there should be equivalent volume. So all of those orders that we're looking to either buy or sell are passively sitting in this zone waiting to get filled. So that's something we're going to be keeping a very close eye on. True solid. Absolutely. Are you marking out supply and demand zones created from the news candles or treated differently? Great question, Platts. So it depends. So supply and demand, as long as they're created as as the basic of supply and demand, where it's like the basing candle and a big sell-off, or a basing candle and a rally, then I'm marking it out. But if we just randomly have a crazy spike, like I'm sure this, 4:15 in the morning, guys, this is that 4:20 Trump said we're bombing Iran again. Boom, dropped like we're hot. What I would do, instead of marking this area out as supply, is I would mark that high out and say, okay, this high right here was our Trump bombs Iran headline. Now we know what this came from. That should show. Where is it? There it is. Oh, this is one of those. I got to change that. We're going to change that to a horizontal line. So when we type out what it is, Trump bombs Iran, we can see it, right? It says right over here what that level is. So I would possibly like to see a sweep of those highs and then a pullback. Now this, Platts, great question there, because now what we're looking for a sweep of that imbalance, right? Again, we talk about imbalances in the market. Imbalances are irregularities where markets say, hold up, crazy move out of nowhere, or crazy volume imbalance out of nowhere. How can we fix that? So how do markets want to fix a news candle like that? They're going to sweep that area, get those unfilled orders that were sitting there before the headline came out, and then sweep back lower. So this is a great area. This is my A+ area on NASDAQ today, 29,437 for shorts. At the moment, look at that, man. New York session's about to open in 16 seconds. We just wicked into that zone again. So the two areas I am watching on NASDAQ today are going to be area A, this purple one right here, and area B, this red one right up here. So 29,240 and then 29,430. All right, ladies and gentlemen, New York session is open. Let's get ready to rumble. Drop those likes, man. Keep the likes going. Here's that push up to VWAP. Let's see where the VIX is at. VIX is heavily extended, man. Not really near a key area. We see that this spot, let's see. A little bit. I'd like to see VIX find support here. NASDAQ find some resistance here. I'm not jumping in right off the open. Markets have only been open for 30 seconds. They're open for 6.5 hours. Staying away from this yellow guy today. Gold struggling. Gold did break that low, but it failed to close below. So I would still see this as a bit of a difficult price action, right? Difficult market to read. Let's see. Oil. Okay, oil had the break and retest. Hourly still looking good to continue higher. I'd possibly be interested in oil longs over here. If you do take it very light size, you want to go with some micros because oil is experiencing a lot of volatility and those headlines are coming out left and right today. We know that. We see that. We want to be aware of it. We're going to keep our market trading view integration open right over here today. Trump suggests potential reimposition of blockade of, oh my God, now we're going to do the blockade again? Come on now, that is insanity. We are seeing craziness in these markets, headlines after headlines. Wild, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Did Trump say he was reimposed the block? Yeah, US man, bro, we covered that right now. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Really good, very clean. SpaceX at 151. Shit, yeah, bro, it's hitting the fan for sure. NASDAQ pumping off open. So plan A, this is no longer valid, right? Markets are moving through it. Now we're waiting for that more high probability level we had mentioned, which is a reversal above the open, which the open price is right here, above that Trump bombs Iran headline, which is right here, and that 2-hour supply zone, which is right there. Yeah, you can't, bro, he can't decide. He's back and forth. He's wishy-washy. This orange level right here was a key pivot. That was a higher low at some point. Now it was failed. So that's going to be our lower low, lower low. So it's also a key level. I'd expect a reaction to, not a trade off of. So remember, there's going to be a difference between areas that you expect a reaction to and areas that you want to take a trade off of. Guys, let me know what you're trading, how you're trading. Look at that. This is why we're not grabbing random gold shorts down here. Gold, New York session opened. Gold is up 12, 13 points, 1,300 ticks right there very quickly. Very quickly. Leave it alone. Be patient. We're waiting for 40.90 on gold. We're waiting for, let's see, we could dump this for now, the volume profile. 29,437 on NASDAQ. And the S&P, let's see what levels were which. 75.40 on the S&P 500. That would be ES futures, or if you're trading micros, MES. Would look for a short and look for our target down here. Gold is up. Yep, gold is up. XAU-USD. Now, guys, just because we're waiting for a pullback to this area on NASDAQ and the S&P doesn't mean I want to go long targeting that pullback level. Now, listen, this could work out fine, but that's not our trade setup. If you come up with a trade plan, then you're sticking to that plan. If my plan is a short off of here or a long off of here, then those are the only trade setups I'm taking. Other than that, we're not taking it. Yeah, I'm on the 5-minute time frame right now. We could stick, if you guys want, we could stay on the 15-minute. I will say that 15-minute candle, we did have a bit of that basing area, sort of like an order block zone right there. We had a big rally. So a lot of times when we have that rally after an order block, we have continuation. But we have to remember that context is key. And right now, the context is still a bit more bearish because of those headlines. Oil slightly bullish, NASDAQ slightly bearish. And look at this. I don't know if you guys remember, but a few days ago when we looked at the NASDAQ and S&P, the swing trading bias was pure bullish. It was not slightly bullish. It was bullish, and day trading was also bullish. Now we're starting to see that shift. It, of course, starts with our day trading bias switching to slightly bearish, our swing trading bias downgrading from bullish to slightly bullish. Then eventually our day trading will hit more bearish, and our swing trading will also say slightly bearish or bearish as well, depending on how strong those moves are to the downside. Yo, what's going on, Hassan? Hey, Kev, sorry I hopped in late. Can you do XAU USD? It was just stopped out. I was in a short. Market dashboard was telling me short price. Yeah, so market dashboard's still saying short, right? We have to remember that the market dashboard is here to help confirm the general trend in our thesis and bias, but it doesn't just mean to take a random short wherever, right? So we do want to be a little careful with that. The levels that we were waiting for on XAU USD today is going to be near 40.90, 40.90 right over here. Volume imbalance, previous day high, and it's also where our VWAP is lined up. VWAP lines up right here on 40.90 exactly. So right now, we're in the middle of nowhere. We're trading in a range. This is a no trade zone. So yes, the market bias is going to be bearish because the market bias isn't changing every minute, and it's not going to tell you no trade zone. Market bias is going to give you some scenarios to keep an eye on, but that's it, right? Scenarios are bias, or overall bias, any strong headlines that come out, and what's supporting that bias too. Trump carry on is making this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the more headlines that come out, the more volatility and uncertainty enters the market. Now, you guys should know by now, when it comes to uncertainty, when there is uncertainty, institutions, big traders, big investors, they pull their money. They don't want to park their money in something that could crash. If there is uncertainty, they want to be prepared. They want to stay out of it. Getting a reaction off of this 29,328 right now on NASDAQ. Still nothing I would consider trading just yet. Would definitely want to wait. We're on the 5-minute right here. 15-minute was also giving us a bit of a rally from this zone. We're just going to wait. Go to the 1. Bro, we'll go to the 30-second chart. You guys ever see that, man? I see people on Instagram all the time on like a 15-second chart. Like, bro, what are we doing? I went on TikTok the other day. I was scrolling, and some guy was on a 15-second chart, and all it showed was, when you're trading on TradingView, I'm sure you guys know this, it places those buy arrows and sell arrows, right? And bro, his chart looks like he was just buying and selling every candle. I'm like, what is going on? What is this? What's gold did? How could that big move be projected? Which big move are you talking about? We didn't really have a big move. I think if you're referring to just this little 5-minute spike, you have to remember, you have to remember that everything is relative to perspective. So if you're zoomed in on a 1-minute and you're looking at this still wouldn't really be considered the biggest of moves because it's relatively the same size as these other moves we had, right? This would be a bit of a bigger move. This right here is a big sell-off move. Right now, we're just range bound. Oh, the big dip? Oh, yes. You might have joined late. We covered that. So what happened this morning around 4:18, 4:20 in the morning? So funny timing, man. It's funny. We made a 4:20 joke yesterday. But 4:20 in the morning today, Trump announced that the U.S. has bombed Iran again. And when we get headlines like that, that sends markets into a frenzy. The S&P dropped, gold dropped, NASDAQ dropped, and oil spiked. Higher oil prices put a lot of pressure on gold to the downside and equities too. Quick explanation on that. When we have selling pressure on when we have buying pressure on oil, equities, big tech companies, they have to spend a lot more money. Where to see that kind of news? Yeah, on the market headline, because the calendar's not showing anything because it wasn't a calendar event. Calendar events are economic data. CPI, which is inflation, PPI, which is another form of inflation read, unemployment data, non-farm payroll data. You're going to see those headlines in the newsfeed tab under market, and you could come to high impact, and that'll even filter it out even further. And we can see, let's scroll it down. Here we go. Where are we? Here we go. 419. Wait, there we go. 419. Trump says Iran ceasefire is over. So the ceasefire is over. Gold dropped, the dollar popped, oil popped, S&P moved lower, NASDAQ moved lower. Yeah, no, that's it, bro. That's fine, man. Never feel bad for asking questions. We went over this yesterday. There's no such thing as a bad question because if you're asking it, I can guarantee somebody else in the comments, somebody else that's viewing has the same question. So when you're using a tool like Market, you really want to take advantage of the fact of the two main things: the calendar, which is again economic calendar, economic data that comes out almost weekly, at least every month, and the news feed. The news feed right now, given the current market conditions and who we do have as president, is going to be extremely important because once he starts tweeting, once headlines start flying, that's when we start seeing extra volatility and we get these much bigger moves like you saw there. And it really answers your question. And what's cool too is you can look at gold right here on the hourly. Here's our 4 a.m. candle, a big sell off. If you have a question about why we moved like that, you could click the candle right here on the chart and it's going to tell you. Gold sells off as Trump declares Iran peace deal and ceasefire over. Trump repeatedly states Iran MOU and ceasefire over, escalating war risk. Yo, US, you're right, bro. Oil and energy prices spike over 4%. So here we go. So when oil and energy spikes, tech equities move lower. Oil spikes, and then gold moves lower. Global risk assets tumble while dollar and bond yields rise. Now, yesterday, yields moved to 5.05%. I forget which yield it was, but a crazy high number, something we haven't seen in a long time. These are all pieces of information we have to know because as much as we aren't trading things like the yields, they still impact our markets. And when we have that advantage of that knowledge that market gives us very easily on our market terminal, we have that done. Previous day low, are we getting something? Let's see. Oh man, gold. We're still waiting for gold, 40.90. And Q continuing higher. Nice. We hit our open price. Does market have a forex? Because that you can study from A to Z. So we don't have a forex course. We don't really have any courses or anything like that. We do have. If you have market, I would recommend going to the Market TV tab. That of course is where you could watch us when we're live. But it also has some of our recent YouTube videos as well. So you could see like how to trade NFP. Yo, guys, here's that webinar. You guys asked me yesterday where that webinar was. Have them post it. It's posted now. It was Imre and Jack. Jeeve could not make it. So Imre and Jack. Jack is one of the great guys on our back end too. Does a lot of our social media work. W's in the chat for Jack for stepping up and taking care of that for Jeeve. And then all our recent sessions as well. It just gives a handful of them. Then if you hit view all on YouTube, it will pull up our YouTube and you're going to go to videos. Right now, if you're looking for these live streams, you're going to go through our live stream tab. If you're looking for videos, you're going to go through your video tab. And that's where you're going to be able to see things like how to day trade this week with CPI. The most important day trading of the month, prep for CPI. TradingView cheat code for traders, best TradingView indicator out there, things that are going to help you understand how to use market. Yeah, exactly. It's also good to watch and take notes. Watch and take notes. Is everything from market on YouTube? Yeah. Yep. Nope. Everything you're seeing here, everything we're live streaming, everything you see on market, all on YouTube for free source of information and education for you guys. It's what we like to do. Create a great platform and give you guys some phenomenal info and insights. ES pretty range bound. Oil struggling over here. I mentioned if you take oil, you want to be very careful because of the volatility that's popping in. Let's see. Gold range bound. So guys, we mentioned earlier gold, whole lot of nothing. You do not want to be the trader that says, oh, okay, here we're selling off. Now I got to go short. Market told me I should be short. I got to take the short position here. I'll put my stop randomly at this high and I'll target the lows. Because guess what? Random trades, you might as well flip a coin before you take a trade. Those are not going to work out. More often they don't work out than they do work out. And it's funny because there's a bit of a psychology to it. If you set up a random trade, you take it. And let's say this random trade does work out. Guess what's going to happen? It's going to build bad habits. You're going to think, great, next time I see another short setup, I'm going to take it too. then it's not going to work out. It creates bad habits. Damn course would be a big plus. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to I'll hand that over to the back end over there, and I'll see if they want to create some type of course. I'm going to put that in my notes over here. Member asked about A to Z style course for market. I think it's a great idea. W's in the chat for you. Great idea. And guys, if you guys have any questions too, and we're not in the market in the morning stream, I'm always happy to answer questions. Shoot me a message. Join our Discord. I'll let me send that link over real quick too for our Discord. So join our free Discord community. I'm going to send you guys the link right now again. And you guys, yeah, you guys come on in. Come join. Come drop me a message. You could @ me if you do @Kevin. There I am, the one and only. Trading with Kev. That's my Instagram handle. That is my Discord handle. You guys could learn and trade with me every day. But look at this. Not working out. Why? Because this is a random trade in the middle of choppy price action. We're waiting for gold to come up to 40.90, waiting for the reaction, then looking for the short. NASDAQ, same deal. Well, look at that. NASDAQ moving higher off the open. 15-minute time frame did close bullish. So as much as I am bearish right now on the NASDAQ, on the S&P, I'm not shorting this because I see our current price action is moving higher. Yes, got to remember your idea too. Got to remember your idea. I'm writing that down too. Also a terms like hawkish, dovish, etc. Got you guys. I got you guys. Got you. What about you, Kev? Don't you have free videos where you put videos together with Jeeve and Capital Hungry? So I'm not part of Capital Hungry myself. I have my own little community and whatever. It is a free community if you guys want to join. Follow me on Instagram. The link is over there. Same thing as like the market Discord. I go live there after I'm done going live with you guys here. Do a little book map, do some other extra stuff. So pretty cool there. Always good to be consistently giving you guys education. I love teaching. I love what I do. I love streaming, talking with you guys, meeting people. It's a healthy environment. Got to keep things healthy and positive. Got you, bro. I got you. Absolutely. Let's see, guys. Any questions? You guys want to look at any charts? Look at any markets? Please let me know. Don't forget, follow. There's a few Instagrams you guys got to follow. Follow this one right here, Trading with Kev, right there. And follow MRKT AI Insights. Now, I don't want you guys to just follow these accounts. I want you to follow it and spam it with likes like crazy, because unfortunately, the MRKT AI Instagram channel that we had 147,000 followers on there. We built it from the ground up. Seb Jack absolutely killed it. Rita as well on the back end. Jamarco too. Freaking killer team. 144,000 followers. And then Instagram created new Meta bots, and Meta just banned a crap ton of accounts. I'm sure you guys have seen on Instagram that tons and tons of people lost their account. Unfortunately, Market was one of those. We lost the account. So go show some support to that. That is MRKTAI.insights. Ibrahim, I got you, bro. I got you for sure. For sure. Shoot me a message @ me. I got you. Mine is trading with Discord is trading with Kev. Discord is trading with Kev as well. Shoot me a message. I'll happily go over like how to use Market, give you guys some insights, give you a quick review on how to use it. Ooh, what's this? Breaking news. Trump negotiators can continue with Iran. We'll see what happens. Again, everything's up in the air. Loving GBP AUD right now. Okay, now Prob's one of my favorite pairs. Still in. Okay, cool, man. Nice. Listen, that's great. Scott, I got to tell you guys, if you find a pair that sticks to you and you find consistency, you like how it trades, you stick with it. You find a strategy, you find a system that you gain confidence in, you stick with it and you build off of it. Because guess what? If you have confidence in it and you're finding consistency with it right now, I'd hate to break it to you, but market conditions are going to change. What you're doing might not work as consistently now as it will in more of a bear market or a bull market or a ranging market. So what do we say? Say, okay, that's fine. I'm sticking with the same strategy. I'm doing my morning prep every day, but I'm going to adjust my trading style as markets adjust in their market environments, right? Market environments are constantly changing, so our trading style has to be constantly evolving with markets. NASDAQ rejected right off the open. I told you guys, man, NASDAQ loves that open price lately. Rejected right off the open. I'm not in anything just yet. Where does the news come from? So Reuters is our main source of news. Reuters and I think the London Stock Exchange as well. This is interesting though. No time on this one. Very interesting. Yields rise, oil spikes on Trump-Iran comments. NATO nations to send minesweepers. What about your sweepers? But let's see, guys, run that like button up, man. Let's run that to 60 likes. We wanted 80 likes. Let's see. NASDAQ still waiting for 29,438 on the NQ for a possible short position. That would be a sweep of the Trump bombing Iran high and then a push back lower. U.S. lifts restrictions on OpenAI's ChatGPT 5.6. So I don't know if you guys know this, but Claude, which is another AI program, I'm going to actually pull this up on the market terminal itself. Claude, which is an AI program, released a new model called Fable. And Fable was so advanced, people were like, this is the next big deal. This is huge. It makes things so much easier. It makes websites cleaner. It does all this great positive stuff. And then the US government intervened with AI. That's how powerful this AI form was. And said, you got to shut it down. This is a threat to security. That's how, imagine that. They released an AI. AI is getting that powerful that the US is worrying for their security. That is mind-blowing in my opinion, because guess what? AI is just getting started. People complaining about an AI bubble. I don't think there's a bubble. Guys, write in the comments right now. Yes, if you think there's a bubble. No, if you think there's no bubble. Now, I know there's a big debate in it right now. The debate being the AI companies themselves aren't making money, not talking ChatGPT, not sort of talking GPT and Claude, which GPT is OpenAI, but NVIDIA, record-breaking earnings. Micron, record-breaking earnings. Micron is a chip maker. NVIDIA, all these companies, they're building the platforms. They're building the data centers. I can't live without ChatGPT. We're on a first name basis. That's great. I know. You know what? I've been using GPT since like it first came out. I was like one of the first few people, and I was sick. I was telling people about it, and they were like, "What?" And then months later, they were like, "Yo, how'd you know about that?" And now it's just through the roof. But I used to use GPT like crazy as well. I moved over into Claude and Gemini. Guys, let me know, what is your favorite AI to use right now? And this is also one of the reasons I say it's not going anywhere, is because it's constantly evolving. The AI bubble that we're in right now is completely different from the dot-com bubble we were in. The dot-com bubble was unsustainable and not showing any profits. The AI bubble is showing stronger profits and creating an ecosystem. Data centers, memory unit chips, just the data chips in general, everything in between is seeing crazy increases. Bro, Claude is OG gangster for sure. But AI is continuing to evolve. As it continues to evolve, it's just going to get better. It's going to get more expensive. Companies will continue to break profit margins over and over again. So not something that we're really going to see a bubble or a big pop. What's going to hurt the economy, what's going to cause some type of pop, is going to be something more along the lines of a housing crash. It's going to be more along the lines of the yields moving higher, the dollar moving higher, things of that nature that are really going to impact markets and say, oh, we're going to there's pain. There has to be pain for markets to come back to a normal. I don't think that pain's going to come from AI. I think that pain's going to come from other sectors. Energy prices. Energy can cause a huge type of pain in the markets because again, higher energy, lower margins on big tech companies. They got to spend more. Guys, look at this reaction off the open on Nasdaq. Now, this isn't the New York session open. New York session open is down over here at this 9:30 candle. This is the futures market open, which is at 6 p.m. Eastern every day. So this is a price level I mark out every single day. You guys should have a trade plan and you guys should have a system where you come to the market, whether it is 10 minutes before market opens, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, where you're giving yourself an opportunity to look at the charts, mark out the same levels you mark out every day, build routine, because when you build routine, you'll find consistency. Let's see. Awesome, nice. Yeah, guys, I got the approval from the lab man. He likes that idea on the glossary. So big shout out to Elisa over there. That's awesome. Guys, if you guys ever have ideas, things you want to see, things you want that will help you as a better trader that we might not have yet, drop it in the comments. Always leave recommendations, leave ideas. We're happy and we're all ears. And guess what? If we're not live in market in the morning, you come down over here on your market terminal to this little smiley box, you click it, and you're right here in the chat. You could say, hey, I was thinking of a glossary so that I can understand what some of these words mean. Or, hey, I was thinking of a library. Let's say you go to Market TV and we have a library section for how to trade NFP, how to trade this, how to trade that. That's also a great idea. So all these ideas, drop them in the comments. Any insights, you guys know where to share them. We're always happy to do these market in the morning streams for you guys. It is just about 10 o'clock. Markets have been open for a little bit now, and we're pretty range bound up here. I would not look for any trades just yet. We're waiting for 29,437 on the NASDAQ. ES is also in that middle of nowhere. So remember, our pre-market analysis, we were looking to sell the high or buy the low. Well, guess what? This whole area right here, if we stay in between it, is a no trade zone. Because when we look like we're going bullish is when we'll reverse back bearish. When we look like we're going bearish, it's when we reverse back bullish. You shouldn't have showed me where, bro. I'm all for it. All for it. Live trading with you guys with guidance, with entries like how we trail on. Yeah, we could do that too, for sure. 100%. I know Nalab. So like when Nalab is on with me too, he's also trading. So like I mentioned before, I have my streaming monitor for you guys, where you guys see exactly what I see on my screen. The monitor above that for actually you guys, where I could see your lovely comments and everything. And then to the right, I have two other monitors, one for my execution, and then one for equities and my order flow tool. So all pieces to the puzzle. We mentioned earlier, trading is a puzzle. Trading is not a solid picture where you have, I trade opening range breakout, that's all I trade, period. No, you need discipline. You need rules. You need structure. Structure builds consistency. Structure and routine together build profitability. Listen, I'd hate to break it to you guys, but I do not see those chats down there myself. Will you be going live for FOMC? We will be, but I don't want you guys to get confused. FOMC this week is not FOMC. FOMC today is FOMC minutes. Minutes is basically from the meeting of June. So it's basically the outline of what was said on June. But because we didn't get any forward guidance from I almost called him Pell, from Kevin Warsh, because there was no forward guidance, they can make changes to the minutes. They could sketch things in, sketch things out, make minor changes that make a big impact. So there is that. Keep an eye out for minutes today to see how it comes out and see what they say. This is not a regular FOMC meeting. The next FOMC meeting we have is in 21 days. That is, I don't even know, man. 21 days. I can't, 29th? 21 days. Yeah, the 29th. That is Wednesday, the 29th. We'll have FOMC. And yo, am I going live for it? You guys already know I'm going live for it. Last time we went live for it, we absolutely killed it. We had 5,000 of you in here. Hey, happy to help, man. Happy, bro. This is what we're here for, dude. We do these live streams every single day. I do these every single day. And if I have a guest, great. If I don't, we're still running it up. Always, man. Always. They change the minute. So they don't completely change it. It's not like Warsh came out and was like, oh, I'm not giving you forward guidance. And then all of a sudden they change the minutes and they say, oh, we're definitely cutting rates. But the minor things is what we want to keep an eye on. Kevin, do you use monthly VWAP as well? I do not, but just because I don't use something doesn't mean you shouldn't, right? So when it comes to trading, it's all about structure. It's all about strategy and consistency. We know this, but it's also about finding something that you're comfortable with, that you're happy with, that you're consistent with. When I say comfortable, I don't mean like, oh, I'm comfortable using a moving average on my chart. I mean comfortable in reading, something that makes sense to you. So like I use supply and demand. You guys might not like supply and demand. You might like key levels a bit more. So your chart might look more like this than my chart looks with the actual zones and areas. So, you know, VWAP is a great strategy. I know traders that use regular VWAP, and then they'll also use, they have an anchored VWAP tool over here. I'll show you right now. Anchored VWAP, and they started on the New York session. Then they have their New York VWAP. And they say, okay, if New York VWAP is above our futures VWAP, then great. I'm going to look for buys as long as we hold. That's a strategy I don't use, but you can most definitely use. Okay, look, our New York VWAP is above. Price is trying to close above. I could take a long here because my strategy says as long as we close above VWAP, I could take it long, stop at the low, and you could even combine that with something like an opening range breakout. Here's our 15-minute orb is right here. We had a breakout already to the upside with this wick. Our VWAPs are closing above. I could take it long, looking for the single break targeting previous day low, or take it targeting that next area of resistance. Whatever it is you're trading, just make sure that you're doing the same thing every day. If you're using anchored VWAP, you're using New York session VWAP, you're using daily, monthly VWAP, whatever it is, you're using the same thing every day. You're not using VWAP some days and then moving averages other days, right? We're not doing that. We're staying consistent because consistency builds profitability. Guys, man, I know you guys are sleeping on YouTube. Smash that like button, man. We're at 60 likes right now. We want to hit 75. 75 is going to be our new 50. Hey, Kevin, regarding the glossary stuff, I think you guys should add a feature that highlights if a comment by a Fed member or speaker is hawkish or dovish during the speeches. I think we sort of have that already. So during the speeches, during FOMC speeches, it's just the Fed chairman speaking. So it's just Kevin Warsh. So I think what you're thinking of is like the dot plot. So the dot plot will also give you some insight into how many Feds are bullish or bearish. Let me see if I could find that dot plot that I shared a little while ago in the main chat here. See if we can find it. Know what we can do? I can go to search from a specific user, from myself, and let's see. I'm going to try to pull that up. Dot plot. Nope. All right, if I can't find it in the next second or two, we'll forget about it. But basically what the dot plot shows us is where each Fed member is expecting rates to be and expecting rates to go. And at this point, it's pretty 50-50, and the Feds are expecting at least one rate hike this year. So not really what they're saying, but during the FOMC speech, that's when we have those breaking news tabs do come up. So you can, if you want, you could look up things like Warsh, and that will tell you anything Kevin Warsh said. Fed Warsh warns he will disappoint those expecting inflation above 2%. Yeah, okay, buddy. Sure, we're going to get inflation down to 2% when we were at 3.8% recently. Right now, if you want to know where inflation is, you just come over to our economy tab. You look at inflation, CPI, 4.2%. Gross, 4.2%. And he's saying people will be disappointed if they think we can't get to 2%. We're double where we're at right now. Look at, is XAU USD giving us that zone? Something's got to give us something. Oh my goodness. XAU USD, a whole lot of nothing still. Seeing some rejection here. I know you said if we hold below, then retest. Yeah, we need to hold below. We still haven't, right? We're still wicking it, closing back, wicking it, closing back. I would definitely be very careful with trading these markets. We had a very big move overnight. A lot of times, too, what I see just from my experience and my exposure in the markets is that when we have these big, massive Asia session moves, we tend to go range bound for that New York session or even reverse some of that move like we're seeing on the NASDAQ today. So really just a matter of being patient, in my opinion. I think market needs to have more announcements. Yeah, exactly. More announcements, more follow through. Give us something with some strength. Right now, let's check our market terminal and see if there were any big headlines that came out recently. Nope. I guess Trump's phone died. He stopped tweeting. Can US President Trump cut off all trade with Spain? Okay, here, let's hit the brain icon on this. Risk off for Europe and to a lesser extent the broader global market. The headline raises tail risk of US EU trade friction, but legal, institutional, and economic constraints make a full cutoff from Spain highly implausible. So, okay, that's good to know, but it's still a headline to keep an eye on. Limiting immediate repricing. Still, it can weigh on Euro, Spanish assets, and European cyclicals via higher perceived geopolitical risk and NATO tensions. Watch follow-up White House actions and EU response. You asked that earlier. So the news we get, our main source of news is from Reuters. Reuters is a huge, very trusted, let's see, Reuters. There we go. So Reuters is a massive news agency sponsored by hundreds of thousands in the world. Reuters breaking news, they're massive. So our news source is strict directly from Reuters. They get it, and we have it out that second. I mean, even that we saw that high impact today at like 419. Let's see, 417. Trump says Iran MOU is over. Where else? 417. I don't want to deal with them. They are sick people on the Iranians. Come on now. Yeah, the fee of Reuters is very high. But listen, man, we want nothing but the best for you guys. So this right here, 417. I think it's over. Rejects Chinese claim on Panama Canal control. Okay, that's something good. But he was really going at it around 415 this morning. And again, that's when we got, here's our 415 candle right here, 415. Well, let's look at the 1 minute right here. 1 minute time frame. Look at that, guys. Those headlines came out. They hit the market tab at 416 on the China one. 416 on the China one. 416. Trump says Iran MOU, I think it's over. Well, guess what? 416. Here's our 416 candle. If you had headlines or you had alerts on market, and that's also one of the reasons we're working on the app so that you guys get notifications. But if that headline came out, and it did, and it gave that impact, you'd be able to jump in shorts right over here and take that thing all the way down, all the way home. Nice big bank off of a news headline. They don't happen all the time, but when they happen, it gives us very big moves. I was in a cell when this, nice. I remember, bro, everybody's living rent free in this guy's head. All the times he mentions Obama, who hasn't been in presidency for over 10 years, is crazy. Yeah, you were in shorts on MGC when that happened. Oh, I hope you were able to bank on that. That's amazing. Good job. Well done. Throw some W's in there, guys. Team effort, community effort. What do you like to see? 10:09. Big ball shorts. Yeah. S&P still waiting to move higher. NASDAQ still waiting to move higher. Daily profit target in seconds. I bet. You know what it is on those types of moves where we see the volatilities behind us and we see a headline is supporting it. Those are the type of trades that, let's say you were short over here and you hit your daily profit target right here. If you're in multiple contracts, let's say you're in 3 micros, 3 MGCs, or you're in 2.01 lots, cut some off. Take your profit, sure, maybe cut 1 contract or 2 contracts off and let the rest run. Move your stop to break even, so it's a no-lose trade, but let the rest run. You could have hit your monthly goal in this one trade. How crazy is that? And it happens, but it doesn't happen often. That's why we have to try our best to take advantage of it when we're in those trades, when we're taking those moves. Hey, what's going on? We trade Forex. What's going on, brother? Good day. Good day. What are you, Mr. Kevin Warsh? There we go. Gold trying to continue lower here. Kevin, can you explain Market AI Sentiment Index and the score? Absolutely, for sure. Great question. I'd love to. So the Market AI Sentiment Index is more of a sentiment index for U.S. equities, S&P and NASDAQ, and it gives us basically a neutral outlook. It's almost like there's a, hey, appreciate that, bro. Cool, I'm happy to see you in there. Market AI sentiment. So Fed minutes and July meeting uncertainty keep investors continuously positioned with ongoing safe haven demand, offsetting selective buying in quality cyclicals and AI leaders. Then it breaks down what exactly is impacting and how much of an impact it has. So Fed minute repricing with the latest minutes reinforcing a data-dependent stance, rates traders maintain guarded duration and equity exposure as they reassess how long restrictive policy will persist. So we know that Fed is holding a huge position on how markets are moving right now. Good day haunts me for sure. Good, yeah, I know. Good day haunts me too. I really hope he doesn't start the next meeting with good day. If he does, we got to hit that sell button immediately. I'm trading a prop with consistent. Oh, okay, I got you. Prop with consistency rule. Got to be careful, so no runners. Okay, what prop firm are you trading with? You could definitely look into some other props. Nowadays, there are so many different prop firms that offer different types of accounts and consistency rules, and even some accounts that don't have consistency rules. I know Tradeify, I think, has like a 40% consistency rule. So we have to remember too, when you're trading a prop account that has a consistency rule, it's usually based off of your total P&L when you go to take a payout. So if your biggest day, let's see if we pull up calculator real quick. The calc, that's short for calculator. I hope somebody gets that meme. So let's say your biggest day on a prop firm. Let's say that you're trading a prop firm. It's got a 40% consistency rule, and your biggest day was $1,000. So if your biggest day was $1,000 on that consistency rule prop account, you're going to hit times 0.4, which is basically doing that 40% in reverse, and it's going to tell you, oh no, wait, wrong way. I'm going to do divided 0.4. So 1,000 divided by 0.4, $2,500. So if you have a big day of 1,000, you just have to make sure your final P&L when you go to take that payout is at least at 2,500. So that's a good way to sort of understand how that consistency rule works. If you didn't know that, drop a like. Last time I'll ask for likes from you guys. We're at 64 likes, very close to 75. Love to see it. I want a cheap, reliable prop firm, 50K account below $100, one-time fee to start the challenge, no payment after I pass challenge. I'm pretty sure Tradeify is probably the closest one. Tradeify or Lucid. I don't know the pricing on Lucid. I haven't traded them myself. I've traded Tradeify and Apex for the most part. Did a little Top Step when they had Tradeovate integration. I don't like Top Step X. I feel like Top Step X is a little garbage, especially, I don't know if you guys remember, but back in December, Top Step X literally had been shut down like every week. They were down for a full day every week. People were pissed about it. People were so mad about it. Tradeify, that only offered Top Step X as a platform, decided we're abandoning them. That's how bad they were during that month. So I would probably say Tradeify. Tradeify is a good one. If you need a discount code, again, you guys reach out to me. I've got some codes and stuff. Currently, Alpha Futures, 40% is the consistency rule. And look, I'm happy with having a daily profit target because honestly, I'm making more money than I could imagine with a few accounts stacked. Yo, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Stay happy with your profits. Don't be greedy. Trade what you're comfortable with. Always. Be thankful you can use props and your country isn't sanctioned. Oh, bro. Yo, you gotta take a quick trip out where you gotta get, what's it called? A VPN? You guys ever hear that? A VPN where you could basically tell your internet that you're somewhere else? At the moment, Lucid and Tradeify are the best. Couldn't agree more. Really great. Good. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy about markets being what they are, and I'm happy about the whole prop firm industry being where it's at, because it's really opened the floodgates to traders to make money without putting a lot of their own capital at risk. Funding pips, that's another good one for Forex traders for sure. Do you have a Twitter? Yeah, Twitter is Trade with Kev. Twitter is Trade. X is Trade with Kev. They didn't have Trading with Kev. Somebody else has Trading with Kev. I got to DM them and one-on-one with them. Trade one-on-one trade battle. Oil going a lot higher. Oh, a little higher. Let's see. Oil. Yeah, look at that. They were a little tight on that stop, but oil did end up continuing. That hourly is still trying to push. There we go. Nice push on oil. U.S. allows specific administrative deals with Russia. So that could be sort of moving oil higher too. Russia's got a lot of oil. FTMO is another good one. Yeah, there's so many prop firms, so many options. It really depends on what exactly you're looking for with those accounts. Yeah, guys, drop some W's for Elisa. I do apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Let me know the pronunciation. Shoot me a message. I know you followed me on Instagram. Shoot me a DM on there. We'll chat. Gold moving lower. Love to see it. We unfortunately did not get that pullback. We were looking for the VWAP, and that 40.90 pullback on gold did not give us the pullback. No, I didn't take that trade on oil either. Right now, guys, I'm sitting on my hands. I have not taken any trades. NASDAQ didn't give us the area, the 29,430 I was looking for, rejected right off open. You guys remember in pre-market, before we even got up here, I said to keep an eye on that open price level on NASDAQ. NASDAQ lately has really been respecting and rejecting that open price level. And look at all of the reaction we had up here. We tried breaking through it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Closed below it every time. Elisa? Okay, cool. I'll try to remember that. I have the memory of what was I talking about? Nah, it's good to have fun, good to learn, good to earn, but it's definitely, in my opinion, it's good to enjoy what you're learning, because then it really sticks, and then you're excited to come back. If you're not excited to learn how to trade or to get into the market, yeah, you're going to feel like you're dragging your feet. You're going to feel like you're forcing stuff, and it's not going to play out well for you. I think we may get a pullback on XAU USD around 10:30 New York or later today. What are you looking for, boss? You looking for a pullback to the upside or downside? Oil continuing up. We had this area for buyers. I did not take it long. If you guys took it, I did mention to go extra light in size, trade maybe some micros, but as long as we stayed above 71.81, we were bullish. And look at how well I had this supply area on oil right over here with support in the past, support when we're above it, support a few times over here. We broke it. It became resistance. Yesterday it was resistance. Now we broke above it. Now it is support. Let's see. We got a good question over here. Oh, yeah. Upside 40.90. Yeah, that would be, bro, I'd love that pullback. And sometimes those pullbacks don't happen until, like you said, later in the day. Or they don't happen at all. And we don't take a trade, and that's okay. Or we continue lower, we don't get that pullback, but a new trade setup presents itself. If we end up creating a new area of rejection right over here, right? Let's see. Let's say, right, here's a great breakdown right here. If we break these recent lows, That means price is still making lower lows and lower highs. So then we would use this area as our stop loss, and we would look for a pullback to this zone over there. John, what's going on? Says, Kevin, I'm learning this Forex like more than 10 years already. Can't figure shit out. Only losses after losses. Oh, brother, I'm so sorry to hear that. I would definitely 100% ask yourself, are you following the same strategy every day? Are you building structure? Are you building routine in the morning? Or are you just getting up, getting onto charts and looking for trades? When you do that, you're just asking to lose in trading. You want to be able to create structure, find consistency, find those high probability trades and work off of those, right? Find something that works for you, that you're comfortable with, but something that you could repeat. Repeatability leads to scalability. That's it. We always want to be able to repeat what we're doing in the market so we could come back every day with the confidence that we have a strategy that works. And I want you guys to know too, for all the inconsistent traders out there, people still trying to get to those payouts, even traders who have had payouts, you probably already know this, but your strategy is not going to work every day. There's no such thing as a 100% win rate strategy. If anybody's trying to sell you a 90% win rate strategy, all they're trying to do is sell you a dream. No strategy has a crazy high win rate like that. I don't want to say no. I'm sure there are, but the problem with really high win rate strategies is they tend to be like 1-to-1 risks or rewards, or not even 1-to-1. They tend to look like this. Like, who the hell wants to trade? This is a stop profit and take loss. Like, we don't want to be trading like that. One loss wipes out your whole account. So no strategy works all the time. Ask yourself, what strategy are you trading? What risk management are you implementing? Are you trading prop firms? Are you trading demo accounts, right? Paper accounts? Are you trading your own capital? What I would 1,000,000,000% recommend if you're getting started and you're tired of losing money is to stop trading money. Trade on a paper account. If you want to trade on a prop firm, trade a prop firm. But if you trade a prop firm, you need to size down. So a lot of prop firms have the 50K account, right? 50K account, $3,000 target, $2,000 stop loss. You don't want to be trading. If you risk 1% of a 50K account, let's pull up that calculator again. Let's have fun with math today, guys. How cool is that? How cool am I that I can make math fun for you guys? At least I'll just tell myself that. So if you risk 1% of a 50K account, 50 divided by 0.01. Oh no, I think that would be times now. Where's the clear? 50,000 times 0.01. You're risking $500 a trade. You're blowing that account in 4 trades because your account size is not 50,000. Your account size is your stop loss, which is 2,000. Now the issue with that becomes, if you risk 1% of a $2,000 account, you're risking $20. Nobody in their right mind wants to risk $20 on an account where you're trying to hit a profit target of $3,000. You're going to get there in 6 months. You're like we don't want to do that. So what I usually like to say, something you guys should do when it comes to sizing, if you're confident in your trading, you're already trading a system that works for you, your max risk per trade on that $2,000 funded account, max $200. That gives you 10 wrong trades before you blow the account. If you're just getting started and you're still trying to find that consistency, you want to give yourself a max risk of $100 per trade. I know it sounds low, but that's the point. You want to be able to trade markets where when you run into a stop loss, you don't give a crap. You're just like, all right, I lost $50, whatever. All right, I lost $70, okay, whatever. But then on your winners, okay, great, I made 150. You want to be emotionless to the markets. You cannot have any psychological attachment. Once you start feeling emotional, once you start saying, I'm tired of losing money, I'm tired of this, I hate this, I can't figure this out, I can't do it. You can do it. You can 1,000% do it. You have to believe in yourself and you have to size down. You have to be able to completely disconnect from the market. Once you can disconnect from the market, that's when you're really able to build your strategy. So what funded companies do I recommend? I'm a big fan. I mentioned before, originally it was Apex was up there. Not the biggest fan of them anymore. They've really like dialed in on more roles and stuff. I would probably go with Lucid or Tradeify. I have a Tradeify account at the moment. Tradeify is pretty solid. Lucid is okay. I don't want to give any input on Lucid other than what I've seen online, and what I have seen online about them is that they are phenomenal. I haven't used them yet. Maybe I'll get an account and I'll trade it here with you guys, but we'll see. We'll see. I haven't tried them yet. It's good to stay with what you're comfortable with, right? So what I'm comfortable with on gold is to not short these lows, knowing that we could pull back to my area. Even though, guess what? I said that over here. I said I don't want to go short over here because that would result in bad habits. Well, guess what? You took that short right here, targeting the lows. You would have been in profit over here for a 2-to-1. You would have been like, oh, I'm the man. I knew it. I knew I should have shorted those gold shorts. And then guess what? It starts pulling back on you. And you're like, oh, shit. Oh, no. What do I do? Do I stop out here? Do I move my stop loss? Do I move my stop loss to break even and get stopped out, and then it stops you out, and then it moves in your favor? Like, you have to be able, when you take a trade, you have to be able to identify 3 things before you enter the trade. You want to be able to identify where you're getting in. So where I would get in on NASDAQ would be somewhere over here, 29,437. Where's your analysis wrong? That's going to be where your stop loss is. My analysis is wrong on this NASDAQ short if we break out of the supply zone. So I could put my stop loss near the high. And now the next question becomes, where is my take profit? If my analysis is correct, we continue this trend. Where can we go? Okay, well, the first take profit could be the next pivot to the downside, which is right here. And guess what? We could use that as take profit 1. Or we could use that as an area to say, great, now I could adjust my stop loss lower and I could look for take profit 2 at those lows. It's all about risk management at that point. But when you enter a trade, you want to be able to take control of your position, know exactly why you're getting in, where you're getting out, and where your analysis is wrong. Yeah, for sure, for sure. The name of this webinar question when you guys do lives, can you put the dates? Yeah, you mean like on the market in the morning streams? Yeah, for sure. Put dates on market in the morning episode names. I got you guys. Guys, I'm gonna hook you guys up for sure. Always, man. Always. Guys, this has been a great breakdown. Kev, could you do FOMC for me again? I missed it, bro. Come on, you got wake up, wake up, wake up. No, I'm just kidding. But FOMC today, we do not have an actual FOMC today. Today's FOMC minutes, basically what that is it goes over what they went over on the last FOMC. So I'll show you right now, economic calendar. It is under none because that's how much of a little impact it has. But we do want to keep an eye on it because they might make subtle changes. So Federal Open Market Committee issues minutes from its meeting of June 16th, 17th, 2026. It is not an FOMC. The next FOMC we have is in 21 days. That is on, I went over it before, FOMC, 29 days, or we say the 21 days. It is on the 29th, Wednesday the 29th. I will be going live for another FOMC stream that day. Whether it's me and Imre, I will definitely be going live for you guys. Always, man. Love to do it. But yeah, that's FOMC. Today is just FOMC minutes. So don't expect crazy volatility today at 2 like we usually get. Mers says, we have told Trump that there must be a sustainable deal with Iran, but it is Iran who is to blame for latest violation of interim ceasefire agreement. I don't know about that. I feel like it's sort of both sides did a good job at breaking that, but we'll see. Guys, don't forget, man, keep running that like button up. We're at 67 likes. I don't know if you guys did that on purpose because you wanted to see me 6'7", but run that up, keep it going. No additions to subtitles during market morning. No, because you know what's funny? So I stream it through it's a product called StreamYard. And StreamYard in the settings, I can't find that in the settings. I think it's something that we have to actually like go into the YouTube and figure out. I'm not sure. It is something on my to-do list, though. I have been trying to figure it out. Don't think I forgot about you. What's up, Maria? Good morning. I love how the boxes are drawn on market for support and resistance areas. Is there a way to be able to get those coordinates quickly without having to hover over the lines? I like to draw the boxes. What do you mean without drawing the line? So I know it does give you, it does say the price level right here, 75.30 is this area. Do you mean like the high and the low of it? Or what do you mean by that? Guys, we're a few likes away from 75. I appreciate you all for being here. I hope you guys appreciate me and all these streams we do every single day for you guys. Like we said, every day, man, Monday through Friday. Today is Wednesday. Usually we have Imre. Imre was out, so that's all right. It's all right. The show must go on. The show must go on, always. Trump says he may take steps that could boost oil prices. What? Yeah, I like the high and low, draw the boxes instead of just one line. Yeah, I know. I do the same thing. I draw boxes too on my trading view. I guess I just wasn't too sure on the question you were asking. I love how market shows the box for market support and resistance. Is there any way to be able to get those coordinates quickly? Hey, appreciate that, US, man. Absolutely, bro. You got it, man. I'm here. I'm a man for the people. Power to the people. Power to you guys. I'm all for it. Hopefully, I'm sure you guys hear it, but the landscapers are here. So I do apologize if you have that in the background right now. But it is 10:30, so we will be wrapping up. Bro's giving... we will be wrapping up the stream. If you guys have any last minute questions, please drop it in the comments right now. If you haven't already liked it here on YouTube, hit that like button right now. We're at 71, so close to 75. I want that 75 to be our new 50. Before 50 was our goal every stream. We smashed the hell out of it recently. We hit 85 the other day. We hit 85 yesterday. Today I want us to hit 75. We're 4 likes away. Good, yeah. It's becoming part of my trading routine. Oh, good. What, coming here for market in the morning? Good. It should be. It should be, man. Or ma'am, I should say. It should be. Having a good routine, coming back to the same community. That's where consistency starts. So learning from the same people and everything. Bro, my name is Usman. Oh my god, that's so funny, bro. You know what it is? I can't tell on YouTube here. But I appreciate you pointing that out. It's 1 a.m. for you? Oh my goodness. Get some sleep. Where are you from? Guys, drop where you're from. Let me know where you're from before we wrap up the stream. Let me know where you're from. What's your name? What do you trade? Give me a quick introduction into yourself. Gold reaction. Is it moving higher yet? Nope. Gave us that break and retest, and it's trying to move lower again. Yo, Mr. Saif, I hope you're taking that, man. Good move there. Yep, and using market. Good, it should be. Afghanistan and gold. Cool. Locked in from the UK. Nice. UK, South Africa, Afghanistan. We're all over the map. Guys, I'm from New York, so we're really connecting all over. I love to see that. Very happy about that. I just put in the notes for the market in the morning, put dates on the market in the morning, episode names for you guys from Sydney, Australia. Oh my goodness, guys. Everywhere, man. We're a big community. That's what it's about. All love here. Nigeria, Jeremiah. Good to meet you, Jeremiah. You're pretty awesome, bro. Thanks for the insights. You're very chill and helpful. Yo, Alexander, I'm happy to hear that. This is the first time I'm seeing you comment in here. Obviously, not everybody watching comments. So if you haven't commented yet, it's all love. I hope you guys enjoy these episodes. I'm so happy to help. Sarah, New Jersey. Yo, we're pretty close. We'll have to link up for a market in-person session. But guys, have a great rest of your day. I appreciate you all for being here. We do this every single day. Every day, Monday through Friday, 8:20 to 10:30. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you all tomorrow. Add me on Instagram is @tradingwithkev. Twitter is tradewithkev. And of course, make sure to follow the market Instagram as well, marketai.insights. Man, we got people from everywhere. I love to see that. Guys, have a great rest of your day. I will see you all tomorrow. Take care. Happy trading and be patient and trade your size properly. Do not just jump in and out of trades. Have a pre-market plan. And I know it's called a pre-market plan, but even if you're trading an Asia session, you're trading a different session, it's a pre-trade plan. You want to know where you're entering your trade before you get that entry. Guys, it's a team effort. You guys are goats as well. I appreciate you all. Round of applause to you guys. See you all tomorrow. Peace.